you for watching another one of my makeup videos. I have a holiday party to go to this weekend, and I'm going to see if I like the makeup look that I'm thinking that I'm going to do that day. So, to get started, we are going to start off with the Morphe Solo Artist Eye Paint in the shade Airplay. Sorry, I've used this so much that the name is kind of rubbed off on the back. So, we're going to take this Moda Duo Fiber shader brush, like this, and tap it into the paint, just like that. And I like to load my brush a good bit on there. Make sure, my face is already washed, moisturized, and everything. Make sure you put on a very heavy eye cream before using this because it is a little bit dry in texture. So if you have dry texture on your eyelids, it will enhance that unless you have moisturizer, a really thick moisturizer underneath. So I put that on and immediately blend it out with my finger to help with that dry texture I was talking about. And because this just cancels out any of the discoloration on your eyelids. And so that's literally all I'm doing. Eyes are primed, raring and ready to go. Excuse me. Next, we're going to go in with this Morphe Rose Frequency eyeshadow palette. And here are all the colors in that palette. It's definitely dirty and well loved. Sorry, I have an itchy on my chin. We're going to take this other Moda fluffy brush into this light shade right here. You can see that I have hit pan on it. This is one of my favorite shades for what I'm about to do. I'm going to lift my eyebrow way up and just apply that right underneath the eyebrow just to help with blending later on. I don't take this too far down because it's literally just there as a highlight color and to blend the shadows. That's it. So voila, that is done. Ta-da! We're going to take this Morphe M3335.5 eye blender, and we're going to go into the next shade, which is this one right here. This one. Yeah, there we go. I'll learn to get the handle right eventually, but today's not that day, it doesn't seem like. Pack it on your brush, tap off the excess. Now, look straight into your mirror. Try not to raise your eyebrows up. I am very bad at this. Try not to raise your eyebrows. Just look straight ahead into your mirror and just apply that right along your crease, right where the fold of your eye is. And make sure it's the shape you want. And do the same thing with the other side. So, look straight into your mirror. Relax your eyebrows. And apply that right along your crease. Like so, like that. I have to consciously relax my brows because I'm all the time lifting my eyebrows up. Now we're going to go back in with that first brush and we're just going to diffuse those edges. And I'm just diffusing those edges as much as possible. And that's what it should look like so far. Now, I'm going to take a slightly smaller, slightly flat brush. I'm going to go into a slightly deeper color. And we're going to deepen this crease. Again, you want to make sure you're getting up in your mirror so like this, and stamping the shape you want. On your eye. So that's the shape I want. Do you see that? That's what I want it to look like. And then go back in. I'm not tapping off the excess this time. If I get fallout, I get fallout. That's what a paper towel, a rag, whatever, micellar wipe you have. And I want this to have kind of a cat eye shape because that's what looks good on my eyes. And I'm only bringing it like 2/3 of the way in to my crease. You notice I don't bring it all the way in to the inner part. And then I'm going to take that second brush we used. I'm just going to lightly diffuse that shade. Because it doesn't have to be perfectly blended, especially at this point, but you do want it to kind of just marry into that first shade you used. Like so. Now I'm going to take a smudger brush, and this is from Moda, it's their detail brush. I'm going to go in with the very, very darkest shade in this Morphe palette, which is this shade right here. And I think that is Loves Me Not in this Rose Frequency palette. Each shade name is named on the back. I don't ever pay attention. I just go by the color. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this darkest brown. Again, get right up in your mirror if you can. And stamp that right on the outer edge. Bring it in just a tiny bit, because you're not going to bring it in as far as you did the other shade, because it's all about layering depth. It's all about layering. You want to build. And we can go back in with that third brush we used, the Moda one, and just slightly buff out the edges of this darkest color. And notice we're not going inside where that darkest color is, we're just going along that edge. We're not pulling color from the inside out, we're just pulling along that edge of that color. And that is how you get a really deep, intense look. Take a drink break, whether you have tea, like I have, whiskey, vodka, cider, water. It doesn't matter. Get you a drink. Alright. Now, I'm going to take an itty bitty little small blender. We're actually going to go in with a different palette. We're going to go in with this Profusion Harley Quinn Poison Ivy. And on the Harley Quinn side, you'll notice they have a black. We are going to take a smidge of this black and put it on the very, very, very outside of the edge of the eye. And I'm gonna start out with just the softest kind of touch of it. And just like that. And then just on the other side. Just like that. And that's what you want it to look like. You don't want to look like you've put a whole lot there. And we're going to take the other orange Moda brush that we used for the darkest color in that Morphe palette. And we're just going to take that along the edge of the black and just gently buff it in. the smaller the brush, the darker the shadow that you want to use with it, I think is the better way of building shadow for me. But that's what it should look like, open and closed. That's how I like mine. Next up, we're going to start on our face. We're going to come back and finish the eyes, I think. Actually, no, because if I get glitter fallout, I want to go ahead and get it off my face now. I'm working through this with you. I'm going to take this other little Morphe palette called the Love Bite palette, and we're going to take this champagne-y color right here. And this is just a Profusion brush from Revolution brush, I'm sorry, from that same Poison Ivy Harley Quinn collection. And I'm just going to pack this all on the inner part of the eye. Wherever we didn't put that dark shade, that's where this is going. So see, this eye versus this eye. And we're just going to smooth it on very, very gently. Just like that. Eyes are done for now. Alright. Make sure there's no fallout. We're gonna use NYX the face glue for face primer. And I like to put it on the back of my hand first. I don't know why, I just do. And then I like to scoop it up and apply it to the face. Okay. Now there are several different ways you can do your face. Whatever you like to do for your face makeup, I recommend that you do that. Something new I've been loving is the About Face, the Performer Skin Focused Foundation. I have the shade F2 Olive. I feel like this is what works for me. This is what looks best on my skin. This is what I like. And I like to just kind of take a scoopful and dot it on my face. Usually one dip will do just about my entire face, if not my entire face. I have this flat top kabuki brush from Kashima. It was a birthday present from a friend, so I'm going to use that kabuki and just work it in. And I bring it down my neck, of course. I always look way pinker on camera than I look in real life. So, just trust me that this is my shade. Now, is it a little dark for the winter months? Probably, but this is definitely my summer shade. So, I like just getting all that worked in, and I let it set for a bit in case I need to do another layer. Because that foundation is very, very buildable, which I, in fact, love. And then I'm taking the Morphe Filter Effect Soft Radiant Concealer in this shade Light 2. This says it's a cool color. It does not look cool. In fact, it looks very olivey to me. But and I go all the way under my eyes. And I let that set in for a minute while I find my Real Techniques Kitten Paw brush, because that's what I like to use to blend in my concealer. And I just softly tap. I don't move it around too much. I just tap it in place. Now, if you need extra brightness under your eye, another concealer that I do like sometimes is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, the original matte. And sometimes if I need a little extra brightness, I'll just put a teeniest dot right in the inner corner. And I might do that tonight. I haven't done that in a while, but I might. We'll see. I also like taking this concealer over the nose a little bit. We're just gonna tap it in. We are gonna do a little bit of highlighting with this Tarte Shape Tape Concealer because this is very light. It's 12N. So this is one of the lightest shades I think they have. And I'm just going to take a little bit and highlight my face. Because I will go in and contour in a minute. I just like to put in the highlights first. The places I like to be extra bright and pulled forward. And I actually think I am going to go back in with another layer of this foundation just over my cheeks, my chin, a little bit on my nose and forehead. And again, with that brush, just tapping it in. And see, you cannot tell me that that doesn't match the rest of my face and body, neck and body. Well, you could try and tell me that, but I really wouldn't believe you anyway. Alright. I feel like I took some off. We're going to go in with cream contour. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Skin Blur Out Skin Tint Stick in the shade 13 Tan. This looks really dark, not gonna lie. But it is actually kind of my perfect contour shade. It's not too warm, not too cool. It's just kind of perfect. And that's where I like my contour. Now, I don't contour my nose typically. I just like leaving my nose as is. But if you like to contour your nose, go for it. I'm going to use this Morphe blush brush M20 or M204.5. And I just, again, go in around the edges. I don't move the middle of the product around too much. I just blend the edges of the product. And I blend down my neck and slightly up above my jaw, behind my ear. I don't come all the way around my jaw because I have a very round face, so that makes my face look rounder. To make it more oval, I leave that space open and it helps elongate my face. And I'm using just a pretty light touch when contouring. And again, this is just what works for my face. Your face shape is going to be different than mine, most likely. So it's okay if you do what works for your face. And then I like to just blend this into my hairline. This is why I do makeup first and then my hair, because I can get it right up in that hairline. So I don't have that line of demarcation. There we go. Contour done. Next up is powder. Now, typically I go in with a powder puff. I don't know where all my powder puffs have went at the moment. So we're gonna just take a powder brush, and I have the Coty Airspun powder, like that, in the shade Naturally Neutral. And then you want to tap off the excess because this is a very, very finely milled powder. You're gonna get it everywhere. But I like to work it into my brush and then just go over everything. Alright, so that part's done as well. And if you even want to make sure your eyes are blended even more, take some of that powder, go along the edge of your eyeshadow, and you can bake your eyeshadow. It will lighten it up a little bit. I don't let it bake for very long. I just do it and then I immediately dust it away. Some people swear by that technique. I don't love it. I just feel like I can do it all at the eyeshadow stage. I'm going to take this Profusion Peanuts collection blush duo in the shade Charlie Brown and Snoopy. This is the colors, and those are the colors. And I like to just mix both colors together, especially because I think I'm going to wear a red lip with this. And I have a Morphe blush that I also love, but it is extremely hot pink. This is kind of more muted, and I think for the look I'm going for, I want a little bit more of a muted, warmer tone to look a little bit more natural. And literally just, I apply this cream blush right on top of that powder, and it does beautifully. Now, you can't hardly see it on camera. I will be honest. On camera, it looks like there's nothing there. But in real life, it does look really soft and really natural, which is kind of what I want my skin to look like. I want to look like it's just perfect. Perfected. Naturally perfect. Which we all know there is no such thing, so do not think that you will have naturally perfect skin. That's just not how real life is. But we can fake it with makeup, and I love that. I'm going to put a little bit more on just to see if I can get it to translate on camera a little bit. There we go. And like I said, I like just putting that on my cheeks. And let's see. Let's go. Next, we're going to jump back to the eyes. I think if I can stop knocking things over anyway. We're going to use this Revolution Clueless Earth to Tie eyeliner. It's brown, but it looks black on the eyes. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my mirror up on my Coty Airspun powder, so hopefully you can see. But I'm just going to lift my lift my brows up so that I can get right close to the eyelid. Oh, eyelashes I mean. And try and make sure you don't do what I did and make a oopsie. If you do, it's okay. Just make your eyeline a little thicker. It's fine. Everyone makes mistakes. Everybody has those days too. So now that you've got that all across your eyelid, relax your brows. Look directly in your mirror. Go from the corner of your eye and go out from there. See? I don't think you can see it with the eyeshadow, but that's how I get my wing. There we go. And on this side, I typically do the wing first. And then I go over my eyelid. And it's okay if they're a little dramatic. That's kind of what I like and what I go for. And then again, just hold your eyebrow up and go across your eyelid. Try not to make an oopsie. If you do, though, it's not that big a deal. I'm gonna go back over the center of my eye, make that a little thicker. And then there's your eyeliner on. Look at how sharp that looks. Beautiful. Alright. Next up, I'm gonna wipe the foundation off my lips a little bit. Give a little bit of exfoliation as well. And then we're gonna do eyebrows next. I have the L'Oreal Paris Faux Brow 2-Day eyebrow tint in the dark blonde shade. Now, I do have to shake this up a little bit. And then, again, I just get really close to my mirror, so I can see what I'm doing. Also, make sure that it's not leaking. Mine, for some reason, is leaking. I don't know if I got a bad component or what, but I'm kind of annoyed by that. I'll have to get a new one and see. But get right up in your mirror, and then, oh, excuse me, follow the shape of your eyebrows. So let me see if I can get you in a better angle so that you can see what I'm doing. And you just go in and fill in your brows. And I prefer doing this before I go in with any kind of like brow gel or anything, because I like getting the shape in first. And that's what my brows look like when I'm done. I like very deep, sharp brows. That's kind of what I prefer when I do my brows. Whatever shape you like your brows, do that. These kind of remind me of 2016 brows. That's kind of what I like. So you just have to find the shape that works for you. Sorry, I tend to go out of frame when I'm doing my eyebrows. Trying not to. Let me see if I can tilt my camera a little down. There we go. So you can see. And then And then that should be the other brow done. And then let's pull you back up a little bit. I like to comb them through. Let me find my little eyebrow comb. And sometimes I do a pencil first, sometimes I don't. This time I didn't. Like I said, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the day. Today I didn't want to take that much time. Alright. We're going to take this Revolution Clueless Betty Vibes red lip liner and line my lips. This is a very true red. I would like a little bit of a deeper red lip liner eventually. But for now, this is what I got, so this is what I'll use. Because I think I might wear a brighter red lip for this event, since it's a holiday event that I'm going to. Voila! Lip liner is applied. I don't like to do it messy around the outside edges, but in the inside edges, I don't care. I'm going to use this Revlon Color Stay. Yeah, Revlon Color Stay Suede Ink in the shade Lip Bloom. I like that color actually. I didn't know if I was going to. Now we are going to do eyelashes and then mascara. Before that though, I'm going to take a powder contour. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Bronzer in the shade Fair. That's what that looks like. I'm just going to go over the bronzer contour that I had put on, especially around my hairline to help get it in the hairline, and then just kind of just to set the bronzer a little bit. And then I'm gonna go in with my Morphe blush because it has a cream and a powder. I dropped my eyelash curlers, had to figure out where they went. So I'm going to take the powder one, which is this one, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of that just to help brighten up the blush a little. I love mixing blush colors. I think that is something that you can and should do. Now, that doesn't mean get blush blindness and put it everywhere, but it does mean you can intensify a smidge if you notice that it needs it. Now we are going to, let me see, where's my mascara? Give me a second. I gotta get my other bag here. Mascara. Okay, curl your lashes just like you normally would. Some people can do falsies. I'm not one of those people. The other mascara that I was looking for was right here. This is the CoverGirl Lash Blast Fusion Water Resistant. I love it because it keeps your lashes also soft. Like it doesn't feel like you have a bunch of like plastic on your lashes. So apply mascara. for the final touch. There we go. Oh, I forgot. I have this little Peanuts Profusion Woodstock highlighter. I love that shade. And we are going to apply that with a Moda highlighting brush. I'm just going to stick it in and then go right on top of my cheeks with it. Oh wow, that looks so pretty. It does intensify texture just a tiny bit, but I'm okay with that. I don't mind. That's pretty. It looks wet. And then we're going to use the NYX Face Glue Setting Spray. To melt everything together. And I just fan it to where it'll absorb. And that's the finished look. Tell me what you think in the comments. And if you want to see a different look for a holiday party, let me know. Thank you guys. I can't wait to talk to you next time. Bye.